student here at the University of Guelph. I would like to welcome you to the College of Business and Economics Convocation ceremony this afternoon. The University of Guelph is honored by our graduates, and we take great pride in this convocation. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the proceedings today. The ceremonials used for conferring degrees have evolved over a millennium, and the gowns and hoods represent that history. In general, the gowns for the baccalaureate and the magisteriate degrees are black, and the color of the hood is different for each degree program. The doctorates at the University of Guelph have a bright blue gown, and the honorary degrees are an even brighter color. The University of Guelph crest that you see on the curtains behind me and shown on the cover of the Convocation program also represents our specific history. The emblems in the crest show links with the royal city of Guelph through the white stallion above, the connection to the liberal arts through the book, to the sciences through the astrolabe, and our connection to abundance and agriculture through the cornucopia. The University of Guelph motto, Rerum cognoscere causis, is a quote from Virgil. It is variously translated to be either happy is the one who is able to ascertain the reason of things, or perhaps to know the meaning of things. The procession of people into the hall are also influenced by ancient tradition. The piper will herald the start of the procession of graduands, the students who are coming to graduate today. This will be followed by the arrival of the mace leading the platform party. The mace is a symbol of authority of the university and will be carried by the beadle. In medieval universities, a beadle was chosen by the instructor to work as an assistant. Today, the beadle is a ceremonial officer of Senate. Following the beadle and mace is the chancellor, members of the administration and the honorees, fellows of the university, members of the board and senate, and members of faculty and staff. The degrees will be conferred in the order that you see in your program. The degrees are separated by categories representing the specific degrees being awarded within the college. We will begin with the doctorates and magisteriate degrees, followed by the baccalaureate degrees. The name reader will announce the degree being awarded at the start of each category. As the name of each student is called, the beadle will place the hood over the recipient's shoulders. This moment will be videoed, and, technology willing, there will be a simultaneous live cast of the event to allow family members and friends to watch from a distance. The chancellor will then confer the degree. We understand the joy and excitement accompanying such an auspicious occasion, but we ask that you hold your applause until after each group of graduates has crossed the stage. There will be an opportunity for a truly thunderous applause after each group has graduated. Once all the degrees are conferred and all the cheers are cheered, the chancellor will then close the ceremony and a recessional will play. Please remain standing during the recessional until all the platform party and all the graduates have processed out of the hall. May I be the first person to congratulate the graduands on their various successes and offer my congratulations to the family and friends who are here to support them. Welcome to Convocation at the University of Guelph.
Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true North strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God, keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
The University of Guelph would like to acknowledge the Attawandaron people on whose traditional territory the University of Guelph resides, and to offer respect to our Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Métis neighbors as we strengthen our relationships with them. A day such as this is an opportunity for celebration and for gratitude. We celebrate and give thanks for the many connections evident here today. Connections to friends and fellow students, connections to staff and faculty, connections to family and to those who have supported us. In the words of the Zulu nation of South Africa, this is a time of Ubuntu, a time when we recognize that we are all related. Contrary to the rugged individualism of Western thought by philosophers such as René Descartes, who said, "I think, therefore I am," Ubuntu would say, "I am because we are." A person is a person through other people. We all need each other. A day such as this can be the beginning of meaningful work, meaningful employment for students, and for some perhaps the beginnings of wealth. Again, in South Africa, the root word for work is the same root word as helpfulness. And the root word for wealth is the same root word as usefulness. Helpfulness and usefulness. Wealth is not the gathering of sums of money in a bank account somewhere. Wealth is demonstrated by the usefulness of someone in the community. A day such as this is a time for celebrating, giving thanks for opportunities of helpfulness and usefulness. It is to the Creator that some give thanks, others simply give thanks in a spirit of love one to the other. Amen. You may be seated.
Thank you. Mr. Chancellor, Mr. Vice Chancellor, members of the board, fellows, faculty and staff, family and friends, and graduates, welcome to the celebration of Convocation at the University of Guelph. I'd also like to extend a special welcome this afternoon to our honorary degree recipient, Michael Anthony Jackson, who will be formally introduced to you in a moment. I'm Maureen Mancuso. I'm the Provost and the Vice President Academic, and I'm privileged to have the honor of opening this ceremony on behalf of the university. And I would like to officially congratulate you, our graduates, on your momentous achievement. I hope you will join me in thanking the many people, family, friends, and mentors who have supported, encouraged, and assisted you in the pursuit of your studies. Today, we mark the end of one chapter of your lives and the beginning of a new one. You made it here today through years of effort and hard work. Now it's time to turn toward other goals and new challenges of increasing complexity and impact. Your journey of learning did not begin here at Guelph, nor does it end here today. If anything, it builds upon your experiences of the last few years to become more arduous, more enlightening, more productive, and more fulfilling. You came here to develop the possibilities and resources of your own minds. You came here to change your lives, to devote some time to learning essential skills and acquiring knowledge, to challenge yourselves and extend your capabilities. Here, in our community of scholars, you had the freedom to learn about the world and to learn about yourself. We hope you learned a great deal about how you will fit into and affect the world. We hope you see your path more clearly and that you see how your contributions on that path can lead to a better world. We have tried to help you prepare by opening your eyes to ideas you might not have encountered, cultures of which you are unaware, perspectives that complement and sometimes contrast with your own. We have tried to help you to think critically, to reject simplistic answers to complex questions, and to refuse the empty satisfaction of half-truths and partial solutions. Ultimately, though, we have shared with you one fundamental lesson. There is always more to learn. It's now up to you to start applying that lesson and those skills. We send you forth as representatives of the University of Guelph. We know you will make us proud, and we hope you're proud to wear the Guelph name. As you probably noticed, even when you were first applying to universities, we eagerly call attention to the exploits of our graduates. Be one of those people whose accomplishments we trumpet. Be someone who makes a mark on the world, someone who demonstrates the power and the potential of higher education. Take this responsibility seriously, because to quote my favorite fake American president, the West Wing's Jed Bartlett, decisions are made by those who show up. So now I say to you graduates, flush with the pride and powers of the finest education we know how to provide, show up. Show up in your own lives and live them critically, live them wisely. Show up in the lives of others, family, friends, and strangers, and make them better, directly, indirectly, however you can. Show up in the world, not just as pictures on Facebook, but as someone who makes a difference, even if that difference is harder to discern and doesn't go viral on YouTube. Most especially, show up as active, aware, caring citizens of your country, your city, your world. And this week that includes voting in the provincial election. Wherever your future leads you, please don't forget that even though you may no longer be on campus, you are still part of our community. Your association with Guelph, like your journey of learning, is lifelong. We hope you will feel welcome to return from time to time to share your accomplishments and experiences with your fellow alumni, your former professors, and the future students who will follow in your footsteps. And so once again, I bid you welcome. Enjoy this ceremony, take pride in what it represents, and remember all of those who have helped to make this day possible. I offer you my personal congratulations and every best wish.
Mr. Chancellor, Mr. Vice Chancellor. On the recommendation of the Senate of the University of Guelph, it is my great pleasure and honor to present to you Michael Anthony Jackson for the degree of Doctors of Laws honoris causa. Mick Jackson is a serial entrepreneur who is harnessing the power of business to empower people in the world's poorest regions to create a better life for themselves and for their communities. He is the founder and chairman of the Wild Hearts Group of companies, which use their profits to fund global microfinance loans that transform the lives of thousands each year. Mick might have been your just average entrepreneur, if not for a fateful trip in 2001 to climb K2, the world's second highest and arguably most dangerous peak. The trip turned into a life-changing experience after his Sherpa became critically ill, and Mick abandoned his quest and carried his guide for 4 days to safety. He nearly lost his own life, but was also saved by a young girl from a village who led him to safety after he had collapsed. Upon returning home to Scotland, Mick was determined to give back in a meaningful way. In 2006, he established Wild Hearts, launching an e-commerce office supply company that uses its profits to generate microloans for women in developing countries. Their motto is, "Even a bad day at the office saves lives." Since then, he has expanded his business model through a series of companies which combine philanthropy with entrepreneurial efficiency. In 2010, Mick created MicroTyco, an international business challenge which has so far helped over 17,000 people develop their creative thinking and entrepreneurial skills. Teams of students seek to turn a £1, or in our case $1, microloan into as much money as possible within 1 month, legally. The proceeds are then invested as microfinance. Participants in this challenge become an entrepreneur to fund an entrepreneur. The message of MicroTyco is simple. By discovering our own entrepreneurial talents, we can make the world a better place. Today, Wild Hearts is working in 40 countries, helping hundreds of thousands of people make their own way out of poverty with dignity and respect. Last year, Guelph students were the first students in North America to participate in the MicroTyco Challenge. For his efforts, Mick has received numerous honors. The Scottish industrialist Sir Tom Hunter described Mick as a catalyst for change. His passion for helping others to help themselves and his fundamental belief that business can be a force for good in the world reflects our university motto of changing lives and improving life, and is an emphatic demonstration of our college's motto and vision of leaders for a sustainable world. For his outstanding contributions to entrepreneurial education and his fight against global poverty, I ask you, Mr. Chancellor, to present Michael Anthony Jackson with a Doctor of Laws degree, honoris causa.
By the authority of the Senate of the University of Guelph, I admit you to the degree of Doctor of Laws. Congratulations. Let me give you.
Wow. Let me tell you a little story. Kerry touched on what happened on the mountain. I am a product of the West. I went to fulfill an ambition to try and climb the second highest mountain in the world, the most dangerous. More people have died in K2, more people have been in space than have climbed it. 1 in 3 die on the way back down. I wasn't married then. I didn't have my 2 perfect sons and my amazing wife. I think I was trying to prove that I was husband material by showing how daring I was. I always say that men climb mountains because they can't give birth. They're always trying to prove something. But I went to fulfill an egoistic ambition, another notch, if you will. But life confronted me with what I needed to learn. Because when my guide collapsed, my dear friend Cher, who couldn't speak English, I don't speak Urdu, but he and I had bonded. Everybody laughs in the same language. And he and I became good friends. He got me out of fights with the Taliban. He got me out of the most incredible scrapes in northern Kashmir. And when he collapsed, I'll never forget the look in his eyes when I came off the satellite phone after being told that nobody was coming to help him. We were on our own. And he didn't speak English, but he could see my reaction. And he just folded in himself. Now, I could have left him. You hear so many stories of people leaving climbers, etc. I could have, but I would have been haunted by those eyes for the rest of my life. And no amount of money and baubles and trinkets would ever have replaced that memory, would never have compensated for it. You see, the moral of that story, ladies and gentlemen, is that previously, and forgive the dark tone of this story, it was a French expedition. A young French climber had died. And when we radioed for help for him to take away his body, the Pakistani military sent a helicopter to evacuate his corpse. And the reason they wouldn't send help for Cher was because he was poor. And the crystallizing moment for me was when I realized that they would have left my grandfather for dead, who was a miner at 12 years old in Scotland, and they would have left my father for dead, who was raised in a slum, and they would have left my uncles, who left Scotland and came to Canada for a better life. They'd have left them too. Well, I carried them out, and it was hellish. And every night, all I could think about was the only reason we are having to go through this is because a man is judged by his lack of wealth, material wealth, and I refuse to spectate a world like that. She has alive to this day. I still hear from him. Kids ask me if he's on Twitter, if he's on Facebook. He's most definitely not. But it's the little child who saved me that was the crystallizing moment. I collapsed. These are quite awkward, aren't they? I don't wear them every day. Oh, there it goes. I collapsed and was drifting out of consciousness and was revived by a little tiny child who was about the size of my 4-year-old son. And she wouldn't leave me until I regained consciousness, and she took me to a little stream near her village, because I was just on the edge of her village, I didn't know, and wouldn't leave me until I drank and I'd revived myself. And she gave me the most beautiful smile and ran off. The whole Wild Hearts movement, 100,000 women every year free themselves from poverty through entrepreneurship, not handouts, and it's dedicated to that child. I don't know her name. I know nothing about her. She'll have forgotten all about me. She won't know where Scotland is. She'll have forgotten all about the desperate man who needed her. Covered in blood, lying, drifting out of consciousness, she saved me. So if you ever ask yourself, yes, I've worked hard, yes, I've done my best, but what can I really do? What difference can I really make? Think of her. If you help one person, it doesn't stop there. It ripples into eternity. Of the little gang members in Glasgow who have been freed from a life on welfare because they discovered their talents through microtyco, from the students in Guelph that have suddenly realized that they were good, but now they're even better because of that. She's responsible for all of it. She has no idea. Who will you help? And so I'm going to give you 3 simple lessons which it took me a long time to learn, and I would ask you to reflect on them, but they're not simple lessons and they're not easy things that you'll solve in an afternoon. These are lifelong dedications, if you will. But 3 simple things for you to take away that I learned from that trip. 1, don't go looking at jobs because it's got a career progression and a good salary if it doesn't set your heart on fire. Really? No matter what pressure you're under to get a good job. I didn't have a job until I was 29, 26. I was in a metal band. Seriously. Until I was 26. Then I was unemployed for years. Everybody was worried about me. Didn't tell me to my face. And then I discovered my mojo, if you will. Now, I was very successful in business, but it was not until I came back from that mountain when the magic happened. Why? Because I discovered my deeper passion, my deeper values, and my higher aspirations. And it was when my passion and my talent collided that the magic started happening. And I don't mean I just went and worked for a charity and retreated to somewhere in Africa and did good work. I mean my entrepreneurial career took off to the extent that no one could believe the things that were happening. The magic starts when your passion and your talent collide. And if you don't dedicate that to yourself, you may go to your grave with your music still in your heart, because you'll never discover what you really could do. You don't get this stuff right. It's like going out with a girl you don't really fancy, or listening to music and trying to dance to music you don't really like. You won't know why, but it'll just be hard for you. So please, it won't come overnight, but listen to your passions, because they're as much a part of you as the color of your eyes, and they will whisper to you like your heartbeat. Don't ignore them, because that's what you were born to do. Once you discover that, or in your process, surround yourself with people that inspire you and who you admire and who share those passions. The thing that always amazes me about Guelph is why they keep saying lines. I go, I was just about to say that, or I feel that. The Earth strapline from Michael Tycho is inspiring the leaders our world deserves. Now I read your line, leaders for a sustainable world. I'm like, okay, get your own material, Guelph. But there's remarkable similarities, because you will not achieve a fraction of what you want to or what you feel you can. It's not you who's do it. It's not the me. It's we. In the UK, they're like, wow, Mick has just launched Michael Tycho in Canada. No, I haven't. Guelph did. I was bumping through the mountains of Guatemala with 2 senior Canadian business people who were so excited about microtyco. They said, we've got to bring this to Canada. And an email literally that minute popped in from a guy called Trent Tucker. Hi, I'm friends with a friend of yours, a guy called Kerry Godfrey. Is this microtyco thing just for Britain or can we do it in Canada? I was like, are you kidding me? The magic starts happening. And only when you mix and contribute to people who are as passionate and care about the things you care about, that's when the magic happens. It is I to the power of we. It's crucial. He who walks with the wise grows wise. He who keeps the company of fools will suffer harm. Mix with people who inspire you and who you can inspire. And the last point, the true nature of humanity. We have a selfish drive, and we need that. We wouldn't have survived as a species if we weren't selfish. You selfishly studied to do your best. You selfishly wanted to get a great degree from a great school. You need that. But I know so many depressed multimillionaires, friends of mine, living in their castles, and go, is that it? I made all the money, was that it? Go, yeah, because you ignored the selfless side of yourself. And it's the balance of humanity. I say to kids, do you get more excited maybe when someone's opening a present you bought for them rather than just open? Yeah, it feels great. Exactly, that's your selfless side. You want other people to be safe and to do well. And if you can get that balance right, those 3 things, I promise you, it will set off a catalyst of events that at the end of your career, regardless of what you achieve, you will have led a rich life. I have given away, or invested rather, millions of dollars. I feel like the richest man on earth. And it's what I tell my sons about, not how much money I've made, how much money I've given. We make a life by what we give. Now you have honored me today. You've honored my parents who are no longer with me. You've honored my kids, you've honored Wild Hearts, and you've honored my ancestors that came to Canada. I'm going to take this honor and I'm going to leverage it to take Wild Hearts and microtyco around the world because I've now got Guelph as an example. And I suspect that if you do the same, if you take this gift of such an enlightened education from such a brilliant school, because this place isn't normal. Not all academics are like, they're a little bit crazy here, and that's why I love them. Because if Trent and Kerry had brought microtyco to a school that's like some of the ones I've seen, they would have been snuffed out. But it wasn't. It flourished because of the culture here. If you take this gift, I suspect strongly we will set off such a beacon that will light up Canada, that this school is a center of compassionate business excellence, a light so bright that it will inspire thousands of Canadians, and we'll be able to see it all the way from the UK. And I can't wait. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mick, for sharing with us those personal and wise remarks. Well, the moment has now arrived. Will members of the graduating class please rise? Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees with all the rights, privileges, and obligations pertaining thereto.
Will members of the graduating class please be seated?
Good afternoon. I'm Julia Christensen Hughes, the Dean of the College of Business and Economics. Parents, family, I share your pride and excitement for your loved ones that are about to cross the stage and meet with the Chancellor. In your excitement, it may be that you want to call out, make an audible noise, a woo-hoo, That is absolutely encouraged, but we please do ask that you save your applause until the end, because we have around 150 students that we will now be honoring. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you this scholar from the College of Business and Economics, that she may be admitted to the degree of Master of Arts. Arifane Chinafurushan. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Business and Economics, that they may be admitted to the degree Master of Arts, Leadership. Garrett Hendrick Wigbold Boss. Carrie Dearborn. Valerie Ann True. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Business and Economics, that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts Honors Program. Stephen Michael Dorgo. Irina Tran. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you this scholar from the College of Business and Economics, that he may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Arts General Program. Scott Michael Silva. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the College of Business and Economics, that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Commerce Honors Program. Michelle Lynn Alexander. Sandra Amoha. Kimberly Ann Andrews. Colin Aubrey. Ryan Kyle Banks. Megan Quinn Barton. Derek Wade Batchelor. Christine Bombach with distinction. Morgan Alexandra McLeod Beatty. Michelle Bellows. Navjot Benapal. Daniel Christopher Verdusco. Julian Lauren Bernard. Ankit Anilkumar Bapsar. Meredith Nicole Bird. Peter Michael Bowman. Eric Neil Boyd. Morgan Sharon Joan Bordowski. Hartley Hillel Brown. Kevin David Brown. Adam Kareem Budawani. Braden Budiak Jarvie. Alexander Manuel Carrero. Justin John Mark Castleman. Jessica Catanero. Andrew Cavison. Samantha Laurie Chan with distinction. Kyle Jeffrey Chapman. Tana Valerie Chasakara with distinction. Guanfeng Chen. Kurt Peter Christensen. Keisha Claxton. Caitlin Francis Cook. Scott Alexander Cook. Felicia Crossland. Camilla Chervik. Travis Dark. Megan Elise DiCarlo. Sean Brian de Lawtonville. Have you good? Okay. Dina? Okay. Demilade Dina. Patrick James Di Rianazzo. Sorry, Patrick. Imong Du. Mark Robert Dundas. Justin Erickson. Carissa Lee Falcon. Ariane Fun. Virginie Giorgetti with distinction. Adrian Gobardun. Kimberly Allison Gonsalves. Kristen Danielle Gordon. Davis Aaron Georges. Nicholas Andrew Gowing. Linda Ha. Adnan Habibovic with distinction. Kristen Haydes. Jennifer Hall. Song Yi Han. Mushtaba Harris. Jennifer Hill. Stephanie Ann Hogan. Jasmine Adriana Hetty Holdway. Sam Su. Junji Hung. Thomas John Hughes. Rory Hume. Michael Ide. Offrey Imafidon. Amne Imam. Robert Arinze Inoma. Derek Christopher Johnson. Kristen Jose. Harmeet Kaur Kambo. Harsirat Kaur. Heather Evelyn Kittmer. Stephanie Christine Kuzenko. Haley Alexandra Lemacraft. Jayalu with distinction. Song Ting Lu. Karen Lyle. Kenneth John Conrad Mahler. Lisa Marie Makauka. Sidra Malik. Shaylee Samantha Malal. Mark Sean Manning. Brianne MacArthur. Blair Westland McIntosh. Dunnan James McKay. Chun Men. Jessica Marie Mighton. Adrian Mikołajewski with distinction. Jenna Jolene Mumby. Cody Dennis Mummery with distinction. Robert Murphy. Taylor Jordan Nash with distinction. Annie Nguyen. Christine Nguyen. Andrew Nixon with distinction. Alicia O'Brien. Garrett Ogilvy. Paul Lorenz Persichetti. Stephen Anthony Persichetti. Duncan Allen Platts. Sheng Yang Pua with distinction. Matthew Joel Putt. Graham James Reed. James Rellinger. Jessica Lauren Rickard. Taylor Justin Roberts. Mackenzie Rogers. Ashton Romany. Megan Victoria Rouse. Michelle Jones Sabarin with distinction. Yasin Sagnia with distinction. Gagan Singh Soda. Juan Salguero. Lindsay Schultz. Vincent Leo Seidner. Sherwin Sarau. Alessandro Antonio Satola. Andrew David Pelly Shafto. Yawen Shen. Nimrat Shergill. Tara Simpkins with distinction. Sarah Strickland. Sarah Ann Talbot. Michael Mario Tanner. Scott T. A. Thomas. Yuen Peter Thon. Paulina Maria Silivis with distinction. Michelle Uba. Christine Uesugi. Kevin Veneziano. Alexander John Vink. Christopher Jeffrey Weller. Tanis Lauren Wilson. Tyler Justin Wilson. Kent Wing Chun Wong. Nazi. Kevin Yee. Joyce Chung Yi Yip. Adam Donald David Zimmer. Please join me with a warm round of applause for these graduates.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars from the School of Hospitality, Food, and Tourism Management, that they may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Commerce. Lauren Elizabeth DeRush, with distinction. Lauren Yuning Jin. Mr. Chancellor, I have the honor to present you with this scholar from the College of Business and Economics, that she may be admitted to the degree of Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science. Lian Liu. Please join me in congratulating these fine scholars.
How about I get you to put your hands together one more time for the dean and the director who did a great job with all the names. Mr. Chancellor, I would ask you to confer the various and several degrees on the graduands listed in the program, but unable to be present at this ceremony.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduands not present.
Mr. Chancellor, so you did it. You're graduates of the University of Guelph. Congratulations. What do you imagine it means to be a graduate from Guelph? As you stride away from here, what do you carry with you? Perhaps a better question is, what does it mean to be a Guelph Griffin? Well, I hope you carry away from here a great deal of knowledge. I don't mean the information that you were given to learn in classes, because I suspect that's already evaporated from your minds. What I hope you take away from this is what it means to be a critical, aware, and caring citizen. an individual who can actually use information to generate knowledge and wisdom, and to care about this planet and the people around you. I trust that you are a person who knows how to do things and get things done. A person who wants to change lives and improve life, especially of others. So as you go from here, I want you to consider thinking about adopting the Griffin Code. I want you to think about the things that will help you make a difference in your own lives and in the lives of others. And to help you, I have a mantra. A list of words all starting with the letter L that might help you both define yourself and perhaps help you on those days when you feel less confident. Because let me assure you, no matter who you are, how successful you appear to be, we all have days when moments of doubt creep in. We all wonder at times whether it's worth it. So here are 7 L's to take with you. Number 1, live. Live your life to the fullest, every single minute of it. Push yourselves to do something new. Try everything, just once. You'll never know whether you enjoy it or not if you don't try it. And in trying something, you might just have fun. Or at least, you'll have a funny story to tell friends about the stupid thing that you tried to do. So live. The second is laugh. Laugh at yourself and others. Nothing should ever be too serious not to find something to laugh about. When I first started to work in the refugee camps in Kakuma and Dadaab in Kenya, I was really puzzled, despite the fact that I was meeting people who had absolutely nothing. And in many cases, looking into the faces of people that was a facade for the deep and unimaginable sadness and tragedy that they had in their lives, they laughed. Why? Why would they do that? And then I realized they laugh in the face of adversity to chase away the gloom and defy despair. They laugh to make their own lives better and the lives of other people. So live, laugh, and the third is learn. Never stop learning. Only by being alert to the changing world around you, by being flexible and alive to possibilities, and by taking the time really to learn about a situation, will you be able to live a life that is filled with possibilities, change, and hope for the future. So live, laugh, learn, listen. Only by truly listening to others will you really understand what's going on in this world. But don't just listen to them. Listen to your own heart. Deep down, all of us have a voice, a moral compass, a sense of what is right or wrong, what makes us happy or sad. Listen to that heart and work tirelessly to hear its beatings and its rhythm, and to listen to the pulse of others, to know how to act with courage and commitment. Live, laugh, learn, listen, and leave. Know when it is time to go. Know when it is time to move on and leave others to take up the cudgels. Have confidence that the footprints you have left behind will make a difference because you've done your job well. Those prints will be an indelible mark on the lives of others. And the shifting sands will not wash them away, but create a permanent memento of what you have done, what you have achieved through the life of others. Live, laugh, learn, listen, leave. And the sixth is luck. All of us require that special bit of magic to see and seize the opportunities that are before us. So be on the lookout for them. They happen all the time, and they so often come from the work that you do. William Jefferson once wrote, "Opportunities," I think his word for luck, "usually comes dressed in overalls." It was his way of saying you have to put effort into your lives to make yourself lucky. So live, laugh, learn, listen, leave, luck. And I'm going to leave the last for you to demonstrate. I'm going to ask the graduating class to stand up and turn round and face the people who are here to demonstrate the last L. And in doing so, would you applaud them for what they do? Stand up and turn round. And give them a thunderous round of applause for what they do. Okay, you can sit down again. I don't know if you noticed, but there was a really neat little human story that went on then. You stand up and you turn round and you look a bit sheepish, and somebody starts doing this, and then there are people doing this, and there are people at the back there going like this. They were demonstrating L number 7. So now you're a fully fledged griffin. You can go out and take on the world. But make no mistake, we really need you. In a world that is riven with injustice, that is challenged by dogma and prejudice and disadvantage, our only hope is you. Do something. Do something. I don't care whether it is that you take on some of the world's most incredible challenges or not. But I do ask you to make a decision today to ensure that for the rest of your lives you will do something for somebody else every day. In fact, that may be more powerful. And for those of you who are thinking, how on earth do I do that? It is really simple. Do what the people in the refugee camps do. Smile at people. It's another human trait, just like this. It's a human trait that if you smile at somebody long enough and hard enough, no matter how miserable, fed up, angry they are, they cannot help but smile back. And when they do, you lighten their load and your own. Find ways to include people of all ages and stages, all genders and races in everything that we do to make this a better planet. So take the parchments that you have in your hands that say you're a graduate from Guelph. Take the values and ideals that you have learned here. Take your friendships that will last a lifetime. And armed with your Griffin Code, get out of here. But there's one thing I need to do. And that is, before you go, I just need to do a selfie with tomorrow. So if you'd just like to smile. Perfect. Just know that those of us that are left behind here will be watching you with great pride. I celebrate and salute your successes, and I wish you every success in the future. Thank you. Following convocation, the Dean and the Director have arranged that there'll be a reception in the atrium of the Science Complex. I hope you'll all be able to attend and talk about that 7th L. Take lots of pictures. They are the mementos that you will be able to bring back, and as you come back to the university, and laugh about what you looked like when you walked across the stage. They will allow you, when you come back to Alumni Weekend, we're going to have one in about 2 weeks' time, as you come back for your 10th, 20th, or as we will have this time, people coming back for their 60th anniversary from when they graduated. And they will pull out those pictures and they'll say, you haven't changed a bit. Or you'll laugh about what your hair looked like, or your earrings, or those ridiculously high-heeled shoes. And I'm not sure what the girls will talk about. Take lots of pictures and have a fabulous day. But I do have a warning. We're doing 20 of these ceremonies this week, which means that there's a vast horde of people waiting in that direction to swell into this room the moment this one is finished. So unless you want to be crushed by the tsunami of people, once the procession has left the stage, if you wouldn't mind exiting by these 2 doors on the side here fairly quickly, and then we can be assured that the future that I just talked about will hold for you too. Thank you.
Convocation is dismissed.
Yeah, maybe.